Hey y'all, we're gonna be getting into this live review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 11, episode 16. I know it's been a minute since I've come back with some reviews, y'all, but I'm back and I'm gonna try and be a lot more consistent. But if you enjoyed this review, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy this review, make sure you dislike, share, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. So we start off with the show showing flashbacks from the first part of the season. And in her confessional, Rashida says that business at the bistro has been good, and she and Kurt have been good too. And she talks about their sex life, but of course, don't nobody want to hear that shit. And then Scrappy says in his confessional that the divorce is final, and it felt weird to sign the papers, but shit is starting to feel real. And in her confessional, Bambi says that after 10 years of being in a relationship, she's feeling lighter than ever, and that being out of the broke down palace has done her some justice. And I'm not gonna lie, that was funny when she said that. And in her confessional, Sierra says that her life has been in shambles and her businesses have been all over the place, and she's still fighting the divorce with Eric. And on top of that, some of her friends haven't been there to help lift her up, and she just says that she can't find any peace right now. She's also saying that her grandmother is ill too. And now we're with Karlie, and in her confessional, she says that she invited all her friends to a beach listening party for her new song. And in his confessional, Zell kind of introduces himself, but not really, because if you've ever heard anything about the Love and Hip Hop franchises, you've heard of Zell. And he says that he's very well connected and he loves Karlie and Shakana and Sierra and Bambi, and says that he came all the way to Atlanta because he wanted to be with his boyfriend, Saucy Santana. And then Karlie performs her little song or whatever. In her confessional, she says that last year somebody tried to put witchcraft on her. It says that she had never had a hit song or whatever. And then they showed the clips of Spice eating her ass up properly in the first part of the season. Last, and then she's doing the song, she says, with a hit maker, and she's learned not to listen to her haters even though they might be in your own neighborhood. And I was like, girl, don't piss me off, because you followed Spice to where she was at, so just don't. And then the guy TJ performs the song that's been all over TikTok. And in her confessional, Rashida says that Karlie's music has come a long way. And Zell and Kirk tell Karlie that she did a good job. And Zell and Santana gush about themselves and each other a little bit. And then in his confessional, Santana says that he used to have a crush on Zell a long time ago, and basically said that they were kind of on and off, on and off. And then Karlie introduces all of them to her new boyfriend, Kai. And in her confessional, Karlie says that they have been together like every day since they met, and he's really ambitious just like her. And now we're with Jessica, Amy, and Bambi, and they chat a little bit. And Jessica's like, "Oh, Karlie over there with her little boo thing," and Bambi's like, "Yeah, Karlie, because Karlie always stay with a little something, something." And Amy is like, "Oh, who's her new man? Like, who is this?" And I think I think Bambi said that he is the president of 1501. And when they said that, I was like, "Oh Lord, free Meg, y'all, free Meg." um, and then Amy says that Karlie looks a lot better than she did at the last trip when they went to the Bahamas. And then Jessica says that, well, speaking of Bahamas, let's talk about Spice and how she had to hold her back. And Bambi is saying, like, yeah, because Spice ran up on Karlie, and Jessica kind of imitates Spice, I guess, and in a real ratchet, like, obviously she's trying to mimic someone with an island accent or whatever, and it was very cringy. And they all laugh, but Bambi is like, girl, you're fired next. And Amy's like, yeah, you're going down, and I'm not trying to go down there with you by laughing at that dumb shit. But now we're with Rashida and Karlie, Kirk, Santana, and Zell, and they all think and Zell asks what they think about the whole Erica Mena situation. And Saucy Santana says that he felt like it was a heat of the moment type of thing, but you still have to be responsible for what you say. And then Rashida says that, like, when did it get to the point that they start calling each other slurs and wishing death upon each other? And Zell says that he feels like there was just a lot of other things that could be said about Spice. And Karlie asked them what they think about Spice attacking her like that. And Rashida says, like, Karlie, you really want to know the truth? And Karlie says that, she didn't say nothing to Spice, she didn't bait her, she didn't cuss her out, or nothing. Like, she just left her alone. And she says that she isn't Erica Mena. She has no ill will towards Spice. And then in her confessional, Karlie says that after Spice attacked her, she was like, who was this person? Like, you really so mad over a house. But then again, Karlie, you have to understand, it's not just about a house, girl. Like, she don't trust your dusty ass. But anyways, Rashida says that she sees Spice's point of view for everything that she's been through, but basically says that, you have to handle your shit properly. And Kirk says that they told Spice that she can't be doing that shit. And again, I'm still going to give her the benefit of the doubt because she almost died. So fuck all y'all, okay? Okay. Because y'all was all on her side in the first part of the season when, she going through PTSD because she almost died. Like, PTSD ain't no joke. And you know, at that moment, she was like, all right, Karlie, well, let me give it to your ass then, too. Like, shit, y'all can't be mad at her. Anyways, Rashida says that Spice has a single release party coming up and that they're all going to go. And she kind of just makes it seem like that she just checks up on Spice from time to time, but y'all are actually besties, okay? But Karlie was kind of just looking like, okay, like, I don't really care. And then the oxtail man is flirting with Bambi while they're trying to get some food. And in her confessional, Bambi says that she's still trying to get used to people flirting with her and her being allowed to flirt back. And says maybe she needs to hang around Karlie a bit more. And I'm like, you trying to recruit Karlie to become another member of the Typeface squad since y'all kicked Sierra out? She might be a perfect candidate. Look at this face. Look at that. Look at her face. Like, no, whatever. And then Bambi says that she's proud of Karlie and that she's very resilient after having people like Spice trying to clown her. And then Amy hypes Karlie up. And then Zell checks on Bambi about the whole divorce thing. She says that it was a lot, but she's good. And obviously, you can just tell that Zell is going to be the bone collector this part of the season because he wasn't there for the first part. So now he's just trying to get all the information that he get on my nerves. He get on my nerves. And it was only like 10 minutes into the episode. And then Zell was like, yeah, because I saw Scrappy and Diamond at the BET Awards together. And Amy says that it bothered her real bad to see them. But Bambi says it really didn't bother her at all. And then Zell does the ideal, like, initiation rag on the new ex-girlfriend to get in with the ex-wife. Basically saying that, yeah, because Diamond looked like a munchkin, this, that, and the third. But he's sitting here in Bambi face trying to hype her up because he's trying to get back in with everybody in Atlanta. Whatever. He said that Diamond looked like a scrub muffin versus Bambi being a supermodel. And I just felt like, Zell, if you wanted to suck some dick, maybe you should have gotten Scrappy or stay over there with Santana because Bambi don't got that for you. Okay? Like, leave that girl alone, please. Anyway, Bambi says that seeing them on the red carpet together was laughable, and then they show comments of people on the internet basically saying that they both looked a mess together, and they did. I'm not gonna lie, they looked a hot ass mess, but you could tell that they weren't there together, because if they were there together, they would have coordinated just a little bit more, right? But Bambi says that the BET Awards was the very next day after their divorce was finalized, and that he was there with the same woman that he said he wasn't cheating with. And then, they pop out onto the red carpet together looking like '05 trash. This is what she said in her confessional. I'm not gonna lie. It was funny. But Bambi is looking a mess in these confessionals again, like she did in the first part of the season. I don't know who is in charge of wardrobe, but no, absolutely not. She looks like she's supposed to be going to Sunday service somewhere. All she's missing is the hat, for real. But then Karlie asks all of them if they've heard from Sierra, and Bambi says that they haven't been talking much, and she says that she hates it because she's been because Sierra has been more than a friend to her. And then Bambi says that the internet was going off on Sierra because they thought she was lying about the whole Safari thing. And if y'all don't remember the Safari thing, basically he was trying to get at Sierra. This is what Sierra said, that Safari was trying to call her up, get with her, this, that, and the third, okay? And Bambi's saying, basically is saying that Sierra just don't want to talk to her now because she wanted her to argue with the internet, but she's like, she already has too much stuff going on to be arguing with anyone. And in her confessional, like I said, her confessional outfit is ugly as shit, but whatever. But like I said, you saying that you can't comment on Sierra's behalf, but you was all up in the comments on Erica's behalf. Okay. Y'all watch her ass. Just watch her. And then Karlie tells Bambi that she'll talk to Sierra because this whole situation is just not worth it. And then Zell jumps in again saying, well, you know, I don't know how deep it is because I wasn't here, but I just don't feel like it was that deep. And I'm just like, okay, then hush and just listen. Like, what? But he says that he loves all three of them together as a unit and they just need to get back to it. And like I said, before I get into the next part of reviewing, you know, as I'm watching the show, of course they show you previews of the next few scenes that are going to show up, and all I keep seeing is of Spice crying again and again and again. And I'm like, on the first episode back, y'all got this girl crying. And I just feel like y'all trying to piss me off because it only gives people on the internet more reasons to rag on her because y'all gonna be like, oh, she weak, she weak. She almost died. And now y'all all cyberbullying her and shit. Like, whatever. But now we're with Spice, and people are arriving to her party, and it looks really nice. It's giving coming to America very much. And then Spice says that it's a special night for her, and she's releasing her new song, and that it's like an interactive type of music video type of thing that basically some of the cast members are going to dress up as the scenes from her music video. Okay. And Spice says that she had a lot of time to reflect on how the Bahamas trip ended, especially for when she came at Karlie. And Spice says that when she gets so angry and lashes out like that, you know, she feels like she's looking at a stranger because, you know, she wants to take accountability for her actions, and she has so many people looking up to her to be displaying that kind of behavior. And again, I still feel like it was justified. And, you know, she doesn't have to act like she has to be so repentant for it. Like, obviously, y'all only give dark-skinned black women such a hard time, so she feel like I just gotta be so sorry, so sorry, so sorry for what I did to this yellow bone Karlie after she followed me to my house. And my whole thing is like, even though at the time it was unexpected, Karlie was going to get it eventually. Nobody expected it to be in the Bahamas, but she was going to get it eventually. So better late than never. And in her confessional, Spice is like, if Amy and Rennie can be cool again, then she can mellow out too. And I'm just like, yeah, but how long is Amy and Rennie going to be cool for? Because you know they like to be at each other's necks. And then Kendra asks Amy and Sierra if they heard from Bambi because she was hoping to see her there. And Sierra says that she hasn't heard from Bambi in weeks, and, you know, then talks about their divorce with Bambi and Scrappy. And then Amy says that it's a lot. It says a lot in her confessional that Sierra isn't trying to say much about what's going on between she and Bambi, but hopefully it's not something that will permanently end their friendship. And then Rennie and Spice chat, and apparently they talked about going to anger management together. And again, I feel like, you know, this second half of the season better not be trying to humble Spice about anything, because again, she almost died. A woman called her a blue monkey on national TV, and y'all keep being in the comments on Instagram talking about something, we want her gone, we want her gone. When has Spice sat down and talked to anyone about what happened with her and Erica? But Carlos King wants to have Erica on her show because he knows that she's more problematic than Spice is. If y'all really felt like Spice was such a problem, she would have been on everybody's show talking about that shit with Erica. But she's not. So now y'all just going to keep trying to crucify her for this rest of the second season. I'm not here for it. But then Rennie says that she's been really impulsive and emotional and responds in ways that she didn't think about. And then she watched Spice do the same thing multiple times. And Spice says that she feels like she should do it because she needs to heal and that she gets triggered way too easily. And then Spice says that when it comes to her anger, it feels suffocating. And that hearing Rennie go through the same thing, that maybe they can do it together. And to me, it sounded like y'all made her sign something to where she has to keep like bringing up what happened or basically trying to repent for the whole Karlie thing. And my thing is like everybody on that show has thrown hands or said some shit to somebody, but do you think that every episode they're gonna keep trying to be repentant? And mind you, I know there was another episode that came out just this week and I missed it, but this is the first one since they came back, and all I keep seeing is Spice crying every fucking scene and that she just needs to be so sorry after she's the one who got a table thrown on her. Okay. But in her confessional, Shekinah says that half of her be angry because she don't have a man, and then the other half is because she's a Gemini. So it's like, whatever. And now we're with Scrappy, and he's rejoicing in his new house, and he and Amani are talking about how nice it is. And Scrappy says that now that the divorce is finalized, this is a new beginning for him. And then Mama D comes in talking about how, this palace has been restored and she's feeling restored because ding dong, the witch is dead. Talking about the band. And then Mama D says that she's excited to see Scrappy back on his own and independent, and that Bambi never loved her son, and that she just wanted to be on TV. And she said that shit with a whole straight face. Can't see it because the words are blocking out her face, but whole straight face. And then Chaotic comes in the house being all loud, like, OMG, the new house. And in his confessional, he says that when Scrappy was going through his divorce, he was homeless and that he didn't want to stay with Chaotic because he's like, Chaotic does too much. But now he's set up in his own nice house. In his confessional, Scrappy says that his aunt helped him with his credit and stuff and helped him find the house. And then his aunt congratulates him and cheers him up a little. And Amani says that, yeah, don't forget that you're not a bad person and don't let social media get to you, yada yada. And Scrappy says that having his oldest child tell him that he's a great dad is what you need. And the oldest child does need to tell their parents that they are great parents. Mommy, if you are listening, you are a great parent. You're a great mother, and I love you. And then Chaotic breaks up all the Mishy stuff and asks Scrappy where he and Diamond stand because he saw them at the BET Awards together, real cute. And Scrappy was like, "What do you mean? We was just chilling. We were lit." And Scrappy says that in his confessional that he and Diamond have so much history and love for each other, and how the award show was like literally a day after the divorce was being finalized, and all he was doing was performing with Crime Mob and doing what he was doing before he met certain people. So basically, it wasn't a coincidence. But I don't know. And then his aunt his aunt says, "Well, let's throw a party, a divorce party for you." And Chaotic's like, "Yeah." And I'll let Diamond host it. And Mama D says, "Yeah, me too." And Scrappy is looking like, no, thank you. And Scrappy says that he doesn't think his mom should be throwing his divorce party, but maybe Chaotic should. But then he was like, I don't know, because then again, it's Chaotic. And then Chaotic was like, and then we'll have a free performance from me and Safari. Who wants Safari at their divorce party? Like, somebody please explain it to me. And now we're with Shekinah. And basically, this whole scene was them doing the little puppet things, trying to handle, like, be in the same situations that they were in before where they didn't handle themselves the best way, the proper way, if you want to say. And Spice, she has a moment because, she was able to get certain things out. But my thing is like, she probably would have had this moment too if she didn't get a fucking table thrown at her. And my thing is y'all all want to be mad at her because of what she said to Erica about her son, but y'all not mad at Erica for calling her a slur. Like, I just don't understand. But basically, everybody, like Shekinah, Rennie, Rashida, and Spice, they all had a moment. They was real proud of Spice for, finding her moment, finding her peace. Everybody kind of got emotional or whatever, but that was basically that scene. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, But it was just a bunch of puppets, okay? And now we're with Karlie, and in her confessional, she said she hasn't seen Sierra in a while, so she wanted to invite her out to this workout thing that she's been doing. And that after talking to Bambi, after her performance, she said she made it her mission to fix things between Bambi and Sierra. I don't know why you're trying to do that, because you about to be the third member, the new member of the Typeface squad, so you might as well just chill out. Um, Sierra in her confessional says that her relationship with Karlie has definitely had its ups and downs, and they show clips from other seasons of basically them going at it real bad. And Sierra says that after they went to the Bahamas, she said that she would try to be Karlie's friend, and she misses being Karlie's friend. And then they chat about Karlie's boyfriend a little bit, but then she asked Sierra what's going on. And Sierra talked about her grandmother being ill and how she's very emotional with all the stuff going on. She doesn't feel the support she should be getting from her friends. And Karlie asks if she means Bambi. And then Karlie says that she told Bambi that they need to fix it because they have a really good relationship. And Sierra says that she does miss Bambi, but she wants Bambi to understand how she feels and why she's hurt. And she says that she feels that she goes extra hard for her friends and she doesn't feel like it's reciprocated. And my thing is that you feel dumb because you embarrassed yourself with that scrappy shit, and now Bambi don't give a fuck about you. You literally called that man all kinds of bitches in front of everybody because you're like, oh, you out here with so and so, so and so. Oh, is Diamond pregnant? Is Diamond pregnant? Whole time, Bambi don't even fuck with you no more. You should feel stupid. But then Sierra says that she hasn't spoken to Bambi in months, and before then they were like sisters, and that it all started because of that stuff with Safari, and that Bambi didn't want to let Erica know that she had already knew about the Safari situation, and that basically Bambi pretended that she didn't know anything about it after Safari called um, after Safari called Sierra. Sierra said that she called Bambi first. It says that after the show aired, everybody went in about how bad of a friend Sierra was because she never told Erica, and that she feels like Bambi should have stood up and defended her because she knew the truth the whole time. You could tell Bambi was lying in that scene. You could tell she was literally acting. What? Safari did what? You could just tell. You could just tell. And then Sierra tells Karlie that she feels a conversation does need to be had, so she'll have it. But Karlie, she, but then she asks Karlie if she feels like she should ever forgive Spice, and Karlie says that she has to, but there's no reason why she should felt like she should have put her hands on someone, and that Spice needs to be held accountable. Y'all not gonna keep trying to pin her to the cross. Y'all not. I'm not standing for it. No. And then Sierra says that she agrees and that she tells Spice that she has to chill, but she knows that Spice misses her. And y'all just want to pipe her down so bad. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. And then Sierra says that she has to work on her shit with Bambi, and Karlie has to work on her shit with Spice. And Karlie is like, she doesn't really know why, because she feels like she's been begging at this point and she don't want to do that no more. The only reason why Karlie don't want to try now is because she got that nigga. If she didn't have that nigga, she'd be like, yeah, you know what? Let me try again with my sis. But now with Scrappy, in his confessional, he says he's been wanting to take this young lady out on a date since the judge finalized his divorce, but he says he might shoot his little shot, and lo and behold, it's Erica Dixon. Now, since the first part of the season aired, they have been hanging out heavy, okay? So this really wasn't a surprise. But then he tells Erica that the only reason why that they're there right now is because she promised him a date once the divorce was finalized. Their spark is always there. It's always there. As much as they want to go at each other, it's always there. And then in his confessional, Scrappy says that he doesn't know, he didn't know who they thought, like us, the audience, thought it was going to be, who else he was going to go on a date with, but he says that Erica Dixon still has his heart. And then Erica says that since they're on a date, she wants to know what he's doing because she saw pictures of him and Diamond at the BET Awards. Scrappy's like, oh, nah, it's cool. We was just there to perform together. And Erica says in her confessional that the offer to take a shot, period, she did offer Scrappy to take a shot, period, but she didn't know that he was going to take her on an official date. But it's thoughtful and that he did a good job. And Scrappy in his confessional says that he always wondered what it would be like if he and Erica Dixon were more mature and would have stayed together and gotten married or had more kids and stuff, and that he's been thinking about that for a long time. And in his confessional, like Scrappy looked like he'd been through it. Like he looked tired, like for real. Um, and then they flirt a lot, okay? And in her confessional, Erica says that when Scrappy drinks a lot, his tongue does get reckless, but she asks him what he wants, and he says that he wants to be married and have a family type shit. And he says that he has regretted in his head and his heart where he is right now, and he wishes that basically when he and Erica were together, he would be where he is right now, so they could have figured their shit out. But he says that's why he always comes to shoot his shot to see if he can do better this time with her. I don't know if that's toxic. I don't know if that's romantic, but y'all tell me. And then Erica says that she honestly doesn't know what Scrappy wants, but this is giving her flashbacks to when Scrappy wanted to get married after calling off his engagement with Bambi, and she told him that he wasn't ready at that time. And then Erica tells Scrappy that he's the reason that she never got married, and he's like, "Huh? What? What you mean?" And Erica says that she was in positions where men would propose to her and wanted to get married, but she wasn't sure if she would have to deal with the same stuff that she dealt with Scrappy, and she's always been hesitant. And Scrappy says that he feels like that she was blaming him for why she's never been married, and then he starts to drink a little harder. And then that their scene ends, and then they do a disclaimer on the next scene saying that they're going to be talking about near-death experiences. And this was the whole scene with Spice and Rennie, and they get out the car, and it's a sergeant lady already on their asses, and basically this whole scene, this whole exercise was for them to talk about their triggers and kind of get through it. And this was why I was like, y'all keep trying to show Spice crying, crying, crying. I had no idea it was going to be like a boot camp type of thing, but still, y'all don't show nobody else crying like this. She's the darkest woman on this show. She's been through the most, and I don't like that y'all keep trying to exploit her. And I get it. She signed up for this. This is her job, reality TV. They're supposed to be showing her life. But like, this girl almost died. Someone cursed her to die, then threw a table on her, then called her a slur, and all y'all did was fire that bitch. Man, whatever. So the first trigger was assault. Spice opens up, Rennie opens up, and they move on. The death of a loved one. Rennie gets very upset, saying that she has anger issues, and if her mom was here, she would tell her to get her shit together. And then the next trigger was a near-death experience, and it was all very specific for the two of them, obviously. And Spice is like, "Girl, why you doing this to me?" And she breaks down real bad. She lets out a real big wail. And Spice is just like, in her confessional, she knows that she has to talk about what's hurting her because, she got to let it out. And in her confessional, Rennie says she's glad that she was there with Spice, getting all that stuff out, and they feel closer and than she thought they would ever be. And Spice opens up about the fact that she's afraid or emotional about the fact that she could die any minute now, and that her biggest fear was leaving her kids going through the same stuff that she did as a child when her dad died and her brother didn't really step up. And Spice says her kids don't know that she wakes up every morning and she cries, and the sergeant tells her that she has to show some emotion and so that her kids know that it's okay, because it's a generational curse that needs to stop, like basically holding on to your emotions and not sharing that stuff. And then in her confessional, Spice says that the boot camp is making her realize all her past trauma is what's affecting her behavior. And then in her confessional, Rennie says that she wants to be able to leave there talking about the things that scare them and to just get it all out. And that was basically that episode. That was it. I hope y'all enjoyed this review. I will make sure I'll be back and I'll try to be more updated with my reviews. I know I'm so far behind. But come back in a few minutes and I will be doing my Love and Marriage Huntsville review. And then after that, I will be doing my Married to Medicine review. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye, guys.